Okay. Awesome. So, okay, going back into it. Yeah. So, guys, and that's the whole point. So we're looking. My way of introducing myself or asking for the key person, the business owner, the manager, is just however you want to do it. Okay. But I go in and just say, we're essentially just saying, hey, who's in charge here? My name's Bryan. I work with a lot of business. Who's your manager? And I guess where I was going with that, guys, is that the looks that you get from the different industries that we work with, whether it's hospitality, restaurants, bigger corporations, people look at me all the time like, oh my gosh, is this someone from corporate? Is this a health inspector? People are looking at you like you're important, right? So we're going in head up high with a lot of confidence, and we're making a lot of eye contact. Hey guys, hey, happy Wednesday, happy Friday, whatever day it is, guys. Just break the ice, but walk in with confidence, like you're there for a purpose, like you're supposed to be there, right? Don't be timid when you walk in. Again, I'm sharing this with you guys because it does relate to the topic on Thursdays, the field training and recruiting practices. But I'm experiencing this in the field with newer agents all the time, and this is just my takeaways. I see newer agents that don't do some of this stuff, and I do coaching with them after on exactly these topics. But anyways, so take note of that. If you're writing notes right now, we're walking into businesses, and the first thing we're doing is scanning the room, introducing ourselves, and really asking for the key person. Now, in that situation, let's just say we approach Julie at Dollar General, and Julie's like, oh, yeah, well, our manager is actually, his name's David. And then we respond, cool, is David in? And then she says, yeah, let me go in the back and see. And again, he's either going to come out, she's going to come back and say he's tied up, or I forgot, he's actually not here. He's off for an entire week. And what we do in every one of those situations, guys, is crucial. But if he's there, he's going to come out, and we're not going to do anything different than what Sales Academy and the whole, approach really tells us to do. We're going to approach them, and we're going to use the sales talk word for word, right? So in that situation, and I'm going to try to role play this out, but we walk into a Dollar General, hey, and we see the name tag of Julie. She's a clerk. We walk in, hey, Julie. Hey, my name is Bryan. I work with a ton of businesses here in the area. And I was hoping to introduce myself to your guys' manager. I don't want to be rude, but who's in charge? And then she responds, Dave. Actually, Dave's the manager. Do you need to speak to him? Yes. If you don't mind, can you go get him, please? And then she's like, oh my gosh, he looks important. I don't know if he's with corporate, or he seems like a big deal, right? And guys, I love having that feel. Like I love having people look at me like that, because I'm a business owner, right? And I'm there for a reason. I'm there talking to other key people and decision makers in the business. I don't necessarily need to talk to Betty Joe, who's the clerk. At least not yet. I'll get to that. But Dave comes out, and we're not doing anything different. We're simply saying, Dave, hey, I was just catching up with so-and-so next door and figured I'd stop by. How long have you worked here? Is this your place? Awesome. And we go through the entire sales talk, right? And try to get the sit down. The other situation that might happen, guys, is Julie might respond, oh, he is here, but he's actually in a meeting right now, and he's tied up. In that situation, it is important, and I teach this all the time, guys. And again, this is a lot of different organizations are doing this. But if that's the case, we simply take down the name of, okay, well, what's his name? His name's Dave. Okay, but he's in a meeting. Okay, well, I'm going to write that down, and I'm going to exit the building and not do an approach there. Okay, and I say that, guys, that's very, very important, because I've had this happen over and over and over again. And I've experienced other agents that had this situation happen to them. But if we go in and approach, and we don't ask for the business owner, and the business owner is there, and we start doing a demo with one of the clerks or someone, just one of their random employees, well, let's just say Dave's in a meeting, and that meeting ends, and then you're mid demo with Susie at Dollar General leaning over the counter. Dave comes out and sees that. Well, you might have just burned that bridge because you just ticked him off talking to one of his employees, and he's thinking, I'm sorry, who are you? What are you doing? why was this not approved by me? She's working. Anyways, the list can go on, guys, and all those different scenarios, but I try to just keep the peace and not burn bridges. Okay. That's a lot of different people. A lot of different organizations have that philosophy where we're just asking for the decision maker. And if they're there, but not available, then we just got to take down their name. Pardon me. Take down their name and put that on the top of your prospect list to go back and follow up with them either the very next day, later that afternoon, sometime next week, but at least you have their name. Okay. And hopefully that's all making sense so far. And then the third scenario, guys, this is awesome. This is basically like a quick little pass. I don't want to say you're not using your approach, but it's just very, very simple. So if you go in and ask, hey, Julie, my name's Bryan, work with a ton of businesses in the area. I don't want to be rude, but who's in charge here? I want to introduce myself to your guys' manager. And it doesn't matter. Again, guys, don't really put too much thought into what I'm saying and try to memorize that. You could essentially go in and say, hey, who's your manager? I need to talk to them. But however you want to do that and what works for you, then do that. But we're always just asking for the key person. But then the last scenario is we might walk into a business and say, hey, Julie, hey, I'm Bryan, work with a ton of businesses in the area. Wanted to introduce myself to your manager. I don't want to be rude, but who's in charge? They might respond, okay, oh, that's actually Dave. And we say, awesome. Is Dave available? I wanted to introduce myself. And then she looks back and says, actually, no, he's not. He won't be back until next week, or he won't be back until tomorrow, or whatever the case may be. He's sick with COVID. Guys, I get pretty excited when the business owner is actually not there, because it gives you the opportunity to do a very, very easy demo, like a quick demo, with whoever that just the average employee is, right? Whoever that clerk is, or whoever the next level assistant manager is. And it's very, very simple. So if we ask for Dave and he's not there, he's actually out of town, my ears perk up, because then I'm like, oh, okay, well, no big deal. I definitely want to come back in and talk to Dave. I will definitely do that, right? But I'm sure he's going to have a ton of questions as far as who I am and what I do. Do you mind if I give you just the quick version of why I'm here? Because it's actually for you. Isn't that beautiful, guys? And then 99% of the time, that person, like, you don't really even have to do an approach then, right? It's just like, hey, I definitely want to come back and talk to Dave. I know I'm going to have to talk to Dave, because I know he's the decision maker, but I'm sure he's going to have questions. And if you don't mind, can I just give you just the quick version of what it is, because it's actually for you. And again, their ears then perk up and they're like, oh, okay, it's for me. Cool. And guys, I've had this happen a handful of times where people are like, yeah, sure, you can give me the quick version of it. And whatever they say, guys, I mean, if it's the quick version, if it's a normal demo and they have an hour in the back, they don't know, but I'm going to do the exact same thing, whether it's the quick version or it's not the quick version, right? And I've had people actually say, yeah, you can give me the quick version. And they actually like reach over and pull out a pen and paper, like they're about to take a bunch of notes on what I'm about to do. So it's beautiful, because again, then you have the opportunity to demo that person right then and there. There's, I guess, a pretty good chance that you might even get them protected. And then you're going to have more leverage when you go back and actually talk to the manager, saying that you already spoke with the assistant manager and they loved it. And it just gives you the opportunity, guys, to find out and get a little bit of gathered pre-approach for when you actually go back and meet the manager. Okay. So I want to ask you, because I know I was kind of all over the place, guys, with that. But does that make sense on kind of those three different scenarios and why we do what we do in each of those settings? Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Makes sense? Cool. So
that was very helpful. Yes.
Yeah. Well, good, guys. So that's that is crucial. That is key. So just knowing that is gonna help you in the field just maneuver through different situations. And it's gonna save time, guys. It really will, because you're not out there burning yourself out doing an approach over and over and over again with the wrong people, right? And the longer you're in this business and in the industry, you're going to change the dynamic of what you do every single day. You're going to change where, sure, 6 demos is definitely important, right? I'm not ever going to say that it's not, because if you do 6 demos on a day, the system, it works. And even if you have a 50% closing percentage, like a handful of people do, Maria Klusic, for example, Casey Fine, Bryan, I mean, they're out there, guys, they sell a lot of insurance, and it doesn't take them a lot of demos to do so. But the more demos you do, even if you have a 50% closing percentage, means the more families you're going to protect. So I'm not taking away from the 6 demo thing, but there was a point in my career, probably about 4 years ago, when I was out selling every single day, where sure, I would do the 6 demos in a day. But we've all probably had those days, guys, where it's like, man, we are trying so hard to get 6 demos, and it just seems like it's just impossible. It's already 3 or 4 o'clock, and we're like, man, I can just not get a demo today, or just very, very few. And it's not always a bad thing, right? If we just focus on the 2 out of 3 principle, just getting a family protected, hours in the field, or demos, then it's a good day. Because I had a handful of 2 out of 3 days that did not consist of 6 demos, but I was still protecting families, and I was certainly putting in my hours in the field. But even on those days where I had lower demos, I was setting up a ton of different group enrollments. And that's always kind of my philosophy. You just got to know when you're approaching a business that, hey, I'm there. I definitely want to introduce myself to these people, because I'm out here trying to protect families. But the big picture is I want to get into that business, and I want to set up a group enrollment. And the way we do that is by talking to the decision maker or the business owners. So hopefully that's helpful. That was the rule of thumb. And another thing, guys, that I see, I want to add to this. This call is going a little bit long. I apologize. But the last part is just the introduction. You already see it on the home screen right here, guys. And it kind of goes back to what I was talking about before we went into the rule of thumb and what to do in those scenarios. But when we approach businesses, we're approaching them again with the purpose to get the sit down, right? And a quick way to get over that and get a very quick demo in is if you do an approach of someone. And how many people on this call have ever had that happen, where someone's like, hey Julie, do you have a place for me to sit down? Right? I apologize, I only have a few minutes with each person. Do you have a place for me to sit down? And they respond, well, I'm kind of busy now. But and they're still kind of looking at you like, but I am curious, what exactly do you do? And then we just simply respond. We don't say, oh, well, we do a supplemental benefits program, and if you don't use it, you get your money back, blah, 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 blah. You don't want to ever meatball and shoot from the hip. We want to simply respond, hey, you know what? I'm glad you asked. Let me just show you. Like, it's so simple, guys. Like, if you just, in those situations, always show, don't tell. Well, what exactly is this? Is this some kind of insurance or whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm glad you asked. It's way easier if I just show it. And guys, the point I'm trying to make here is the importance of this introduction. Okay. And I have to coach people all the time, because for whatever reason, people just kind of gloss over this. But use the sales talk. And this part really should be word for word. But when we do an approach and we're trying to get a sit down, or after we get the sit down, people are still a lot of times wondering, who are you? What do you do? In this part, I'm going to break down the philosophy behind it. And this call is going to go a little bit long, so just bear with me. Give me about 10 more minutes. I'll wrap this up. But the importance of delivering this sales talk pretty much word for word on this page right here. So that's going to go something like, hey, Julie, I apologize. I only have a few minutes. Do you have a place for me to sit down? And then she says, sure, come on back with me in my back office. Or, what exactly do you do? I don't know if I have time. What exactly do you do? The whole point is, I'm painting the picture, guys, that this is when we pull out our iPad and say, oh, I'm glad you asked. Or we're walking back in the office and they say, Julie, we say, thank you, Julie, for giving us a couple minutes to sit down with you, right? This is right when we open the iPad. We build some rapport and we simply say, so Julie, Thank you so much for giving me a couple minutes. Like I said, my name is Bryan, and we represent Globe Life Family Heritage. Really, what we do is help families if they ever go through any of the bad stuff. I know it's never easy to talk about, but it seems like everyone has a story or everyone knows someone that's had to deal with something on this page. As a matter of fact, I was just catching up with Jessica over at the ABC store, and she mentioned her mom just passed away from cancer. And I was talking to Samantha and her husband Billy over at the plumbing business, and they mentioned that they just had a daughter who had a pretty bad accident. Now, if you don't mind me asking, who do you know, like who's the closest person to you that's ever had to deal with anything like this? And guys, the psychology behind that, because when we sit down with someone, all people want to know is who are you and what do you do, right? And naturally, you just have to understand in this business that when we walk into a business, people are looking at us and they can be a little bit resistant at times. You know, they have sales resistance. They have their guard up because they don't know you from Adam. They don't know you from the last, 100 salespeople that have been in their business that have talked to them or been pushy or just a terrible product that they were absolutely not interested in, right? So I see this over and over again that people are not interested in what we do, or people aren't interested if it's not something that they want. But when people say like, "Oh, well, I only have a couple minutes," most of the time, guys, they're just blowing smoke because they only have a couple minutes if it's not something they're interested in, right? So again, it's getting good at understanding the sales talk and the words that we deliver. It's important, and the better that you are, guys, the better that you get at understanding the psychology, the philosophy behind what we do. It's only going to help you out. But breaking that down a little bit, when we say Globe Life Family Heritage, so thank you for giving us a couple minutes. My name's Bryan. We represent Globe Life Family Heritage. Really, what we do, again, guys, we got to give to get, right? By that point, they just want to know, who are you? What do you do? So we want to throw that out there in advance and say, okay, so Globe Life Family Heritage, what we do is help families when they go through the bad stuff. And I see this over and over and over again, guys. They might not tell it to us. They might not share it initially with us. But if you watch people's reaction in the field, when we say Globe Life Family Heritage and what we do is help families when they go through the bad stuff, before we even get through that entire like paragraph or two of the sales talk, their eyes are scanning this page and they're looking at it and they're thinking cancer, heart disease, accidents. And again, they might not openly admit it to you, but they're thinking. That's when it finally clicks to them and they're like, oh shit, gosh, my mom is currently going through cancer. Or they're looking at the page and they're thinking, okay, Globe Life Family Heritage and what we do, and they're thinking cancer, heart, accident, and they're thinking, oh my gosh, my grandmother just passed away from from a stroke, or my brother just had a massive car accident, right? And that's like where initially that connection starts. And then they're thinking all of a sudden, again, they might not openly say it until we ask, but it really just sets into them, and they're thinking, oh my gosh, like, yeah, I know a lot of people have gone through this stuff. And I promise, guys, if you just watch people's reaction in the field when you are on this page and you say, hey, we're Globe Life Family Heritage, and what we do is help out when people go through bad stuff, things like cancer, heart disease, and accidents. And you really want to talk low and slow on this page, and let that sink in. And then we simply say, it seems like everyone has a story, and I know it's never easy to talk about, but who do you know, if you don't mind me asking, who do you know that's ever had to deal with anything like this? And guys, we just shut up and let them listen, like let them talk. And most of the time, obviously they're gonna be like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, I have family members. Like, if you don't mind me asking, who specifically? Oh, well, my mom actually passed away from cancer. Wow. Susie, I'm really, really sorry to hear about that. Was she treated local? Was it here? Was it there? Draw out that information. And then whatever their story is, guys, it's important that we add to that and say, well, gosh, Susie, thank you for sharing that. And you almost act shocked and just say, wow, that's a heck of a story. This is going to make a lot of sense to you, because what I'm showing is a program, and it pays cash directly to you or your family if you were to ever go through anything like what your mom went through, but it's completely separate than any insurance that you guys already have in place. And guys, I can't stress the importance of delivering that sales talk. And again, mine might not be exactly word for word, but you can follow along and know exactly what I'm talking about if you're reading the sales talk. But I think I see this over and over again, that so many people kind of gloss over that, or it's not existent. People just start and say, hey, we're Globe Life Family Heritage. So which of these concerns you the most? And you're missing out on the whole like emotional part behind that, of connecting with them and sharing the stories and hearing their stories and, tying it down and saying, wow, that's a heck of a story. This is going to make a lot of sense to you, because what I'm showing is a program and it pays you cash if you were to ever go through anything like this, but it's completely separate than all of your other insurance. Guys, you're never going to find me not saying that in the field, because again, we got to give information to get it. And it's all about answering objections before they come up. Because again, if we don't say that last part, what I'm showing is a program that pays you cash, but it's completely separate than any insurance that you already have in place, then chances are there's a pretty good chance that you're going to get somewhere in the introduction or building the need up. Hey, which of these indirect costs would impact you the most? They're going to say something like, well, maybe, I don't know if it would because I have really good insurance. Or somewhere along the line, they're going to say, oh, well, our company already offers us really good insurance. We got to take that away from them, guys. Make it very clear that, hey, guys, what I'm showing is it's a program and it pays you cash if you were to ever go through anything like this. But Susie, the best part of all is that this is completely separate than any insurance that you guys already have in place. My job is just to show it to you. So when you look at these, which one concerns you the most? And then they have to pick one, guys, and it's flawless. And again, it goes back to just saving our time in just identifying, because I can't tell you guys when I'm out in the field who's going to buy this and who's not. Of course, I really do believe that everyone can benefit from this product. Everyone can benefit from this insurance. Everyone truly does need it. It doesn't mean that they're going to get it. But it's up to us. We are the professionals out in the field, and we are qualifying the prospects that we talk to. And it all starts with, again, just building that need up and just trying to connect with people. So, hey, my job is just to show it to you. Which of these concerns you the most? Probably cancer. Okay. Well, let me go through some quick statistics, blah, 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 go through the sales talk here. And then we get to this page. And I share this with newer agents, guys, all the time. But, again, up until I ask the 4 need finding questions on this indirect direct cost page, I really don't know if this person I'm talking to is a prospect or not. But I will know about 10 to 15 minutes into this introduction if this person has a need for what we do. And just always remember that people don't buy this insurance, based off the benefits. We have to get them talking and build that need up. So sorry, guys, again, for the long call, but hopefully there was at least a few nuggets in there that you guys can take away and implement in the field. Whether it's, getting better, as far as personal production and just really taking your sales talk and your presentation to the next level and helping you personally. Or, if you have people on your team, maybe you can have a better understanding of just the fundamentals and looking at the sales talk a little differently, where you can help your agents to have a better understanding as well. But any final questions, comments, guys, from anyone?
Not a question, but great job, Bryan. This is good information.
Thank you, Josiah.
I agree with Josiah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thank you guys for putting up with me. And have an awesome day in the field. It is Thursday, guys, so good things happen on Thursday and Friday. And it was awesome seeing all your guys' faces, those of you guys who shared your screen. So thank you guys, and have a good rest of your day. And listen, feel free if you guys have any questions. I mean, I know that was like a lot to kind of like, I guess, dive into and really dissect the sales talk. But that is truly something that I feel very, very confident in. And it's a skill that I have developed in this career. And these are conversations that I have with anyone that I work directly with. And if you guys are not, if you guys want more of this knowledge, you can always reach out to me. Okay. So if you want to write down my number, if you don't have my number, 810-814-0730. You can hit me up on Voxer, but I'm always open to do coaching and help out. So, Brandon,
I do have one thing, Brian. Yeah. If y'all haven't listened to Mackenzie Buck on the different type of people that you approach on the podcast, I strongly suggest that you make time to do that today, because she talks about like meeting the arrogant person who doesn't need anything, or the really shy person. So that, because I'll tell you, and I'm just transparent, sometimes I feel like my hardest part is just getting a sit down. Once I get to sit down with someone, I can usually sell them. But sometimes my approach, maybe to salesy or different things like that, but also just finding a way to meet that person where they are, is very important. So if you haven't listened to it, even if you have, it's probably good to listen to it again. So that's all. Thank you, Brian.
Yes, thank you, Brandy. You guys have a good day. Happy Thursday. Bye-bye.